In this video, we are going to be using iMachining 2D and focusing on rough and finishing. The tools we are going to use is a 10mm end mill, that's for roughing, and that's in T1. And then we have the same tool, which is a 10mm end mill for finishing in T2. And last, we have a 4mm end mill for rough and finishing. The machining plan is we are going to first rough the OD and finish it. Then we will do the main pocket where we will rough and finish it. And then last, we will use the small open pocket, which needs to be roughed and finished. And we must use tool number 3 to do the corner finishing. Let's get started. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to machine the outside of our part. And we'll do that by adding a 2D iMachining. And then we will select outside machining. Then we are going to select our tool, which is our T1 for roughing. We're going to set the bottom of our part as our pocket depth and give it a 1mm offset below. We're also going to set the floor offset to 0 since we are not machining a floor. Then we're going to go pick our finishing 10mm and select finish wall. And then we'll see we get a roughing toolpath on the outside and a finishing toolpath for the wall. Then we're going to machine the center pocket. Once again, we're going to add a 2D iMachining. This time we'll machine the bottom floor. We're going to go select our T1 for roughing. And then we're going to go select our T2 for finishing. And there we're going to select finish wall and finish floor. We can see when the toolpaths calculate, we have our roughing toolpath, which is helical entering into the pocket. And then we have our finishing toolpath, which is finishing the floor and the wall. You can see the floor is done with a pocketing style toolpath, not an iMachining. And then last we want to do is machine our semi-open pocket. And there we're going to select the same tools for roughing and finishing. With the prismatic region, you can see that the 10mm tool cannot get into the corners. So we're going to also pick a 4mm tool for finishing. And what iMachining will do is it will finish the walls and floors with the 10mm tool reaching into everywhere it can, and then the 4mm tool will just machine in just the corners for finishing the walls and floors. And we can turn off each toolpath and see the roughing. Then we can see the floor and wall finishing with the 10mm, and then we can see the 4mm tool finishing the wall and floor in just the corner. Now if we go into our SolidCAM simulator, let's play all this. In the SolidCAM simulator, I'm using machining time mode and equal playback, and I have each operation set to 8 seconds. So that means it will play each operation in 8 seconds. That gives us a good time to review the program, and all the operations are listed at the bottom. So the first thing we have is the face milling toolpath around the top. Then we rough the OD with tool 1. We are then finishing the outside with tool number 2. Then we follow up with the roughing in the center pocket. That then finishes the floor and the wall with tool number 2. Then we do our roughing of the little pocket on the left. We semi-finish with the wall and the floor. And then we use tool 4 to finish in just the corners. And we can see that the 4mm tool did have to finish the wall and the floor. We can turn on our stock and target comparison and see that the entire part is complete, except for the bottom material, which we have to flip over. And in our next video, I will go over optimizing that program for tool changes and other things.